Welcome to this video where we'll look at the SkyDrive that is provided as part of your email account with live.com and the college. And we also use something called Microsoft Office web apps. They're very small versions of the big Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and something called OneNote, the big Office apps. These are smaller versions of them, but they do come in handy and they're free. That's the good thing. Now again, my disclaimer about the computer screens will particularly be applicable right here because for some reason, on a fluke, as I'm making these videos over the weekend, Microsoft eliminated my student accounts because, quote, quote, there's some kind of violation. I don't know what's going on. But anyway, when you look at the temporary student account that I set up just a few minutes ago, it'll have a screen that looks a little more like the one that maybe is in the book. And if I scroll down on Hotmail, you'll see the list of inbox, calendar, contacts, sort of like the mailing list I had down in the corner earlier. We have the SkyDrive, which not only has the opportunity to put in photographs and new documents, and then I've got MSN, Microsoft Network, where I can look at music and movies and news and all that stuff that many of you get on Facebook. The particular screen you'll probably look at will have something very similar. Under Mail, it will have the same inbox, calendar, contacts. Office will have recent documents and a chance to do a new Word or Excel document. Photographs, you can go in and have new albums and share them, and of course the Microsoft Network will be like that. Again, super similar, except for those of you who are really into exact words and exact screens, you should be able to play around and figure all this out. Let's actually go into the SkyDrive. Now I'm going to go in and choose New Word Document. Can't talk now, it's late. And I'll see a screen very similar to this one. And right off the bat, I'm going to create a couple of very quick documents and folders for you to give you an idea of how this works. Most of you would figure it out, but again, for the more nervous or exact words person, I wanted to give you some security compared to what may be some differences in your textbook. So I'll call this document, let's see, I'll call it late work, and docx is the default extension. I'll click create, and again, please note emphatically that this will be a Word web app, not big blown up Microsoft Word that we're used to seeing in the classroom. I'm going to make this a very large font right now and just type something very quickly. This is a document that is for video recording purposes. I might share this with you. I'm typing the phrase I might share this with you, of course. And you can do a lot of the stuff that you do in the larger version of Word, changing the fonts and the boldness. It's very sufficient for a lot of people that don't need very specific highbrowed types adjustments. You can open this in the regular Microsoft Word if you want to. I'm going to go ahead and just click Save. It's getting a little more of a feel now to what the Windows 8 looks like, and that's why this appearance is a little bit more funky, strange, unusual compared to what the book is and even my screen now. So I can choose Save or Save As. Save As is basically going to give me, I can save it as a download. Remember, I named the document first, which is kind of the opposite of what we usually do with Word. So if I click Save, it will save the document to my SkyDrive. You can actually, just so you know this, you can actually go in, and if I were to exit from this Word app, I'll get back into, hopefully, the SkyDrive mode, and I can actually go in, and if I were to choose if I were to actually click the SkyDrive logo over here on the side, you notice the cloud, because that's the big emphasis on storage these days is cloud storage, on the internet. If I click this, I can actually get an option, I think, and sometimes my computer is a little bit sluggish right here, and if it delays too long, I will not mess with it. Yeah, here it is. If I click the arrow, I'm sorry, and click SkyDrive, I can actually have the option here, and let's see, if I choose the option that says, I don't know what I'm thinking, folks. I'm sorry. It's late. Anyway, when I have the SkyDrive on the screen, if I go down here to PCs, this group, I've got an option where it says download SkyDrive for Windows. Now, you don't have to do this. The reason for possibly doing this is if you want to synchronize your computer and cloud storage together, so that what would happen is if you download the SkyDrive for Windows application, what would happen is every time you save something on your desktop, it would automatically go to the cloud through your live.com account, and every time you modified something, say at another place through your live account, maybe you were at another city or at a friend's computer or a relative's computer, it would automatically sync with your computer when you got home, so that you would always have a backup both on your physical computer and up in the cloud. So if you had problems with the internet and or you had problems with your personal computer, you've got the backup taken care of either way. Again, I'll go back to recent documents, and you'll notice now that when I click on this, it went into a list form, and over on the far right you can put this either in a list form or what they call the Metro view, where you have more of the block look right here. Now I call this late work. That's not like late work as in date late because you're past the deadline. It's because it's late at night when I'm recording this video on a rare Saturday evening, and I've been having a lot of trouble with computers this weekend trying to get this to work to make this better for you. So I hope you appreciate the time I'm taking for this. I'm going to go out of this by clicking the arrow. I'm going back to mail, don't have to, but just again to show you the way the menus work. Let's say that I wanted to put in a new Excel workbook. I could do that as well, a spreadsheet, and you could name that if you wanted to as well. And if I didn't want to do it, I could just click away from it. I'm going to actually go in now, and I'm going to create a folder. I can click the create menu right here, and I'm going to create a folder. And I would advise you, just for memory purposes, to call it folder at the end of it. So call it picture folder. And I'm going to open up that picture folder, and I'm going to upload some pictures if I can find them from this local computer. So you may be seeing all kinds of stuff from my school computer here. I'm going to upload a picture where I'm an organist, and I'll upload another one where I've got a QR code, just something very quickly so you'll have some items in there that we can at least look at. So let me find something right here. Most of this is, of course, your own work from classes I've done. Here we go. The QR code, which we'll be doing later on as well. And these will upload, and eventually they will say done. The organist picture is a little larger, and there they are right there. They're inside the picture folder, as you can see, and it's got Michael E. Sisk SkyDrive, which is what I named it. And I can go back and look at my files. Now the word files will be a bit deceiving because it actually has files and folders. Again, if I want to make a new folder, a second one, or another document, I just go to this create area right here, and I'm going to call this folder documents folder. And I could actually make a copy of the one I did earlier by just right clicking it, and in fact I think I can actually, it seems like I can actually drag it in there. I could do that, or make a copy of it if I wanted to. So if I open up the documents folder, it contains one item. If I were to go into the pictures folder, I'll have two files or two items in there. Now what's cool about this stuff is that you can share these documents. Maybe some of you have through your other classes that you've taken. You can share these documents with other people and either allow them to edit it if you had a group project where many people were working on it, or if you want people just to look at it, that's also possible. And I hope you're not being deceived by or thrown off with the video by these pictures going back and forth, but it does that. Again, this is that Windows Metro look that they used to call it for Windows 8, and that's what's going on right here. You'll notice if I hover over these boxes that I have little white, these blue boxes, I'll have little white boxes up in the corner. I can select these this way. Like if I wanted to select the documents and the documents folder, I could do that. I could also go over here in list view and do the very same thing. And this may come in handy. Let's suppose, for instance, I wanted to share this picture folder with another person or with an entire class. I can select this, and then I can go. And when I select this, again, I can do this either in this mode or the other one, and I can go up here to the top and I can choose sharing. What will happen is I can send an email. Let's say that I'm sending an email now. Now, my computer has been really difficult today with Microsoft kicking my files out. I think because maybe the suspicious activity, because I'm working back and forth trying to see what a student computer looks like and what an instructor computer looks like when I'm seeing these files back and forth to better do the videos. And I could put a message that says I am sharing a folder containing pictures. Enjoy. Alright, and I could have this where the recipients could edit this. Maybe I don't want them to. I could require everybody to sign in their account if I wanted to do that. And I can put as many emails as I wanted to here by separating them either by semicolons or commas, or just I can just start typing them in. I'll just send it to the one person right now, and I'll click the button that says share. And hopefully, if everything works out correctly, and I click done. Now it says one more thing to complete the security check, and again, I had this computer was kicking me out of this earlier, so hopefully this is not going to be an issue this time. I've had a real fit with this today, but I did find it to be very successful. It's not a hard thing to share. It's much friendlier, admittedly, in the Google software with the Google Drive than it seems to be with Microsoft, at least from my experience it has been. I'm having a lot of trouble seeing this CAPTCHA, so I apologize for my having to flip back and forth with it. So hopefully I've got this spelled correctly. I'll continue, and if it doesn't kick me out, which it has been lately, now let's see what will happen here if I go back to my document. We'll see what happens here. Hopefully it has shared this. Alright, now I'm going to click share and see if it's happy, and I sure hope it is for your sake. And it seems to be okay. Now I'm going to go back to my Google account and see if by chance something has come in. It should have, but what would happen here, I can give you just an example through Google of what happened. I'll do the refresh. I promise this does work. But here's where I shared something with Google. What will happen basically is you'll get something similar to this one. It's not exact, but it will say I've shared some items with you, and then you can go in and click on the items, and it will show you, like in this case, I did something where I was looking at Google with sharing, and in my opinion it's a lot friendlier to use than Microsoft, but that's what we have at the college, and that's kind of how it works. But I hope this gives you an idea of the power that and the versatility that the emails have now. We're going more than just an email account. We've also got the option of being able to have a SkyDrive provided where we can have sharing done. And I hope the done situation takes care of it. Maybe I'll try this one more time and let me see if this actually works now. Maybe it does. Sometimes it takes a minute or two for it to work, and it may come up, it may not. I don't want to waste your time with this video if it doesn't come up, but you get the idea, hopefully, of how this works. And if you have any problems with any kind of assignment, just let me know, and I'll be glad to help you out right here. And if I click on shared, if someone had shared something with me, there would be a list right here, and of course on your end or someone else's end there will be some sharing going on there too. Hopefully this is making some sense, at least enough for you to play with it and to look at the discrepancies possibly between the book and your actual software on the internet. Again, communicate with me if you have questions.